Kia ora, I'm Wharehoka Smith. I'm an artist and I work in Toi Māori. I'm motivated with my art to create a visual history of our people and of our country. My artwork is inspired by my tipuna. It's something that I've inherited. I'm motivated to use as often as possible all of the symbols and colours and shapes, all of the different elements that go into making Toi Māori. I do that to try and stay as true to those principles as I can from a Māori perspective. I think often about contemporary Māori art versus Toi Māori, and I see them as being two completely different things. Even though Toi Māori is contemporary, I see Toi Māori as being the work and the designs and the principles of creating beautiful things that's handed down from our ancestors. The second thing I look at is the subject, what it is that I'm trying to create. And it's through the research that I learn more about what it is to be Māori and learn about a particular place or a person or an action that's taken place. Probably the most important thing that I think about is the mana of the subject, the mana of the shapes and the symbols, and the mana of the people, the mana of Toi Māori and how that fits or fitted within Māori society. That's our storyboard, that's our visual language, and I'm trying to acknowledge that. The brief for the artwork for Matariki for this year was for people to be celebrating relationships and love within community. So I took that to be what we would aspire to and how we went about doing that. It was important for me to make Matariki as significant as what it is within that image. What you see is a lot of diamond or patiki. You see potama or a step pattern. I use patiki in my creative process as a symbol of abundance. If I was using it in the moana, in the sea, it's the abundance of what the sea brings to us, so the fish and the koura and all the kaimoana. When I use it in the heavens, I'm talking about the abundance of the stars and the mana that comes from heaven, the kai that comes from heaven, the birds and all of those things that the heavens bring us, that feed us. And when I use it on the land, I'm referencing kumara, those cultivated foods, or those foods that we harvest from tāne. I like doing that because it allows me to play with colour, to differentiate between the different things. When people look at that, if they understand that that's what I'm doing with that symbol, it allows them to interpret it as well. So they might say, no, that's a cabbage, that's not a kumara. Well, katapai, that's fine. The important thing is that they start to understand that symbol and its potential use from my perspective. Potama, the stairs, I use potama to draw a connection between the heavens and the earth, and the ability for our atua to ascend or to descend, and the ability for our wairua to ascend or to descend. And rua moko is the ever-present taniwha, if you like, or the ever-present entity or atua that exists within the whenua that shakes bejesus out of Wellington. That exists all the way through the image. It brings people to understand their insignificance. As human beings, we like to think that we are on top of things all the time. And the reality is that our atua or our gods, or Mother Earth, the elements which are nature, have a greater control over things than what we do. The other important thing with Rua Moko was his relationship with the taniwha that were responsible for creating the Wellington Harbour. At the very far end on the left in the blue is Ngāke. Ngāke was a taniwha who forced his way out of the lake that was the Wellington Basin and created the entrance out into the Raukawa. Whātaitai, his sibling, attempted to follow, became stranded on that headland, and Whātaitai is at the far right hand end. And Whātaitai is shaped in this shape, and ngā kea is shaped in this shape. And I played with the idea of using our traditional taniwha symbols. I chose to look at the action or the intent of those two beings. I used stylised tiki to symbolise our relationship with the whenua, and those tiki are holding a ko and they're going through the cultivating process or the tuning process of the soil, which is what Matariki tells us to do. That's mankind working in unison with mankind, and through that relationship with the earth, he has a relationship with our atua, so everything's connected. It's just such a beautiful way to describe the events. One image, one skill set, whether it's carving or painting or weaving, doesn't exist on its own. It exists as a collective. It's like kotahitanga. Together we are one, and our art form is like that. And it's also backed up with kōrero and with waiata and with haka. It's not something that stands on its own. We have to work harder to bring that to our communities. So if I'm able to help people understand the images that I use, and that enables people to have a greater understanding of toi Māori, then I'm doing my job and I've done my job. I take that very seriously, yeah. But it's a great journey.